let's close out this show with a little bit of news out of the WHL, an update on 2 Pittsburgh Penguins prospects. In fact, the 2 second-rounders of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2024 NHL draft, starting with Tanner Howe, who was involved in one of the bigger trades the CHL has seen this season, getting traded to the Calgary Hitmen along with Corbin Vaughn for Keats Fawcett, Reese Hamilton, a first-round pick, 2 other high picks, and 1 other prospect to be named later. The most WHL move of WHL moves, but good news for Tanner Howe, who moves from a 10th place team in the Eastern Conference to a 6th place team in the Eastern Conference. So a nice move there for Tanner Howe, the Penguins forward who was drafted in the 2nd round this year.
CHL trades are so funny. It's 1 player for an entire lineup.
Well, it's two for two, and then 5 picks potentially
for an entire lineup of draft picks. I guess I should have said.
Yeah,
it's CHL trades make me laugh all the time, but yeah, it's moving up in the status of teams in the WHL. Honestly, I didn't know about this trade until you told me about it before we started. So. Good stuff all around.
It was later last night. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock last night, but of course it's the WHL, so it's a couple time zones over.
And WHL takes a while to get here.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, if you're looking at Howe, he was the captain of the Regina Pats last season and this season, but he missed the early portion of this year after breaking his wrist in the preseason games. 7 points in 10 games. 6 of those 7 points are goals. You'd have to imagine he's going to a team with a little bit more talent, which should help his development, which should help his numbers. And also, you want to see him play for the Memorial Cup. We got to see that last year with former Penguins prospect Braden Yeager. So you want as many of your prospects on playoff teams as humanly possible. This is a move that helps Tanner Howe potentially get there. But another update on the other 2nd round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Harrison Brunick, who made waves during the preseason, nearly making the Pittsburgh Penguins roster out of training camp. He has 12 points in 15 games. Unfortunately, though, he is out week to week with an injury as well, according to Jesse Marshall of The Athletic. He plays for the 6th place Kamloops Blazers of the Western Conference. So both Howe and Brunick now on 6th place teams in their respective conferences. You're hoping to see both of them get an opportunity in the WHL playoffs coming up in many, many months. But a decent start for both of them. They're not at the bottom of the standings, which is where both Regina and Kamloops were at the end of last season.
Yeah, it's all about moving up, getting those prospects some extra playing time, and making sure they're on the ice as much as possible to continue their development, continue their growth. And I mean, for Harrison Brunick, at least, he looked good whenever he was in Pittsburgh for his stint.
Yeah.
So carrying that over into back to his junior team, and then when it comes time for next season, he's a bit more stewed, a bit more cooked. Not cooked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit more ready and a bit closer to developed. Yeah. I already used developed, so I was trying to use something different.
Fair
a
enough.
bit more marinated in
yes,
preparing for what should be a pretty solid NHL career.
Yeah, and this year we said he nearly made it, and part of that was Erik Karlsson might not have been ready for the start of the season, but once he was, they decided to move Harrison Brunick. But here we are 20 games in. We're talking about Owen Pickering getting an opportunity. We're talking about, Matt Grzelcyk's on a 1-year deal, and it's probably not getting another one. There could be more opportunity next year on the Penguins blue line. And if so, maybe at that point, a 19-year-old Harrison Brunick can actually push for a spot. Who knows? So we'll have to keep our eye on these 2 of the WHL. Hopefully Brunick is not, too severely injured week to week. Doesn't sound great, but hopefully he gets back as soon as possible and starts lighting it up for the Kamloops Blazers once again.